Boys, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Lower the music a bit. That glorious Warhammer 1 music. So, me personally, when it comes to strategy single-player games, I always try to find stuff that's fun to me. It's like it doesn't have to be Total War game. It could be a Civilization series. It could be I don't know, Endless Space or these type of games. It has to be some interesting gameplay mechanics and that, you know, reason to keep on playing, keep on progressing, and why do you play it? And you know, Total War already has this unique mix, and Warhammer factions bring more to this mix than any other Total War ever before. That's why the Total War games won't be able to compete that much with the Warhammer series. When it comes to Beastmen, Beastmen is a faction, for me personally, that promotes the most replay value in the entire game. Because there is different ways to play this faction, and you can play it at your own pace. You can go slow or you can go crazy. The problem is, we go back always to the current difficulty in the game. The game right now is not very difficult. There is no legendary. There is no legendary. And progression and min-maxing doesn't feel rewarding at all anymore, but doesn't mean you can't have fun. So the game, due to this game difficulty right now, because the AI is too passive, the AI doesn't have the resources, the AI has questionable passive-aggressive behaviors, these progressions and the pacing and the play of the game, the entire game is literally now in a weird spot because of it. But the Beastmen, for me personally, they just promote replay value. In what way? You play a faction like the Dwarfs, like the Empire, like the Vampire Counts, like Tomb Kings. They have exactly the same gameplay when it comes to campaign management. You are expanding, you're reacting to threats, you use diplomacy. Beastmen don't even give a shit to any of this. They can do whatever they want. And they get away with it without being focused at all. This is another thing. The player focus is non-existent, the player aggression is non-existent, which makes the Beastmen even crazier. This is one of the most overpowered factions in the game, even without player focus or the aggressions of the player. With Tomb Kings and all these factions, Vampire Counts, Dwarfs, Empire, you always have to do a Empire Builder type campaign, while the Beastmen is the opposite. And it promotes a replay value with the Empire Builder factions. This is why I really enjoy Beastmen. They have unique gameplay, they are super overpowered, they're terribly balanced, you know why, but I find it a lot of fun. And what I find even more fun with the Beastmen, all their lords are built in a way, they can build in a way we get even more fun. For me personally, I like a campaign that the most of these things is happening around one army, one legion lord does most of the stuff. You know, you could just go crazy with the funds, just add a bunch of stuff, but here with the Beastmen, you can't really just spam armies. You get the armies unlocked slowly. If you don't get lucky with confederations to unlock the additional armies ahead of the time, very slow progress, and you're focused around one or two armies for a while. And it's mostly going to be your legendary lord, and all the legendary lords are can be built in a fun way. These three have pretty much the generic campaign effects, mechanics, while Taurox has an extra thing. Taurox can be even more fun than the rest of them. Doesn't matter which one you start, it's just the initial lord and the initial location. You do get access to the rest of them, but depending who you play, you might snowball slower or faster. In the current state of the game, I mean, just take into account that AI is currently passive. The AI is currently questionable, the distance, the player focus non-existent, the legend doesn't exist, hard at best. These are all factors now taking into account of various campaign mechanics and the factions, especially when the player is handling them. And this takes away a lot from the game until they fix this. So the Beastmen don't feel like as rewarding anymore, because they have never really been balanced since the rework. It's one of the best reworks, but they've never really balanced, they progress too fast. So just a lot of fun faction that for me promotes the play value, and any of these lords is a lot of fun, but Taurox has that extra fun factor, and that's one factor that is just like stupid fun. It's like the level of, I don't know, changeling type of stuff. Maybe not at the same level, just different. And I haven't played yet in Warhammer 3, but this guy has the rampage mechanic, and it can progress like crazy. While the faction is trying to control their province, this guy is holding another continent with a little bit planning and a little bit luck. Sometimes it doesn't work like that way. You know, when the eye opens and you get rampage, well, that's extreme version of it, but you know, Taurox should still be able to rampage pretty well. They did try to balance the bit. I'm not sure what they exactly did because I'm playing Warhammer 3. But faction with a totally different campaign. It's not an Emperor builder. Literally, you're building just hunting grounds and destroying factions. Having a highly aggressive roster that is usually just proactive and go hard on the enemy. I find it a lot of fun. Any of their lords, I could play Beastmen literally every third campaign and always have fun. The next one is Bretonnia.
An honor.
The thing that I like really about Bretonnia is their atmosphere, theme, flavor. It's like a medieval 3 that we are never going to get. This is like the closest we can get now to medieval 3. We even had a campaign in Warhammer 2 where we just played a non-fantasy version of Bretonnia. We just taken off some of the other stuff and played like that. And it just have this medieval theme that I hope they're going to recreate when we play medieval, the next medieval Total War game. So it's a medieval faction outside of medieval Total War. I find the lords a lot of fun. They have good locations, and they have the best cover in the game. We're gonna always have some fun with Bretonnia. I tend to avoid Bretonnia and Warhammer 3, leaving it for the request baits and stuff like that. Some of the factions I'm not gonna pick personally, but I can have fun playing Bretonnia. The factions also in different spots now. These two are in a similar spot, but this don't have this initial early game. I think Bretonnia is way better in Warhammer 3 than Season 2. You get Lewin on the northern side of things, Finch on the south side of things. Albric literally can go please Mummy Inc, hands up, and Repants in the desert. So a really good flavor faction here with some strong characters. All can be quite enjoyable, but probably if I had to pick one to enjoy the most, would probably be the Fenchantris, just because a lot of life and starting in the Guild Guardians. Totally the reason, right? The next are the Chaos Dwarfs. I got a little bit mixed feelings about this. It's a strong faction in the player's hand, but I feel like the AI had a poor translation, and they got the list at the time where I was a little bit butthurt. There's a delay of the updates and everything. There is a stink on them. What Sia did between the Chaos Dwarfs and the end of the year. It is what it is. They added a decent faction to the game with good flavor, but there's elements on this faction that really shows how the rest of the game have fallen behind on the campaign gameplay, various effects and bonuses. So this think is probably gonna stay a while on this faction, not as long as you're gonna stay on the Shadows Change stuff, but it is what it is. I think this guy is a huge miss. The Zulahu and the other guy seem to be in a much better spot. Don't mind really playing them, but like I said, I got mixed feelings about this. Demons of Chaos. Oh boy. The Regiments of Renown faction. I don't know, it's like Chaos. I'm attracted to Chaos. But this faction is quite the opposite. There's something off with this faction. It's feel like they're missing one big mechanic. They failed to create this faction properly, missing one big mechanic. I really think it should be some kind of mechanic how they proceed with the campaign and how they unlock things on the changing level, or at least super strong technologies attached to the campaign progress. Something is missing, and it's a core mechanic that they should have that it's not in the game. I'm not a fan how this Lord works, and I'm not a fan to play it. But mixed feelings about this faction. Dark Elves. Like I always say, I'm a big fan of all the Elves, but Dark Elves is my least favorite. I don't mind playing any of them. I just keep them same as Bretonnia for requests. I'm never gonna pick them personally, but I can totally have fun playing Dark Elves. So they're basically here to be requested. I'm not gonna ever pick them myself. So random campaigns, back and forth, and people to request with request tokens. But I tend to favor Malekith and Morathi over the rest. I think Khorne Hellborn might be my least favorite. And I'm still really undecided about Malus. There's something there, but I feel like one of those lords that the more you play, the more you might enjoy. Dwarfs. Well, Dwarfs are one of my favorite races. I mean, look at Thorgrim, guys. He's glorious. I can have a lot of fun playing Dwarfs. I'm boring that way. And it's just a nice Emperor builder with really fun flavor for me. When it comes to lords, Ungrim Iron Fist faction is utter dog shit. Needs a major mechanic. He's just waiting to be a Confederate target. Although incredible lord. And Thorax faction is stupid, overpowered, boring. And I dislike him for that as well, makes the rest of them look bad. Don't mind the other three. Belaga is probably the most unique. The Empire, also one of my favorite factions. Just have one bad thing to say about Calfrans. Is my favorite lord. Golden Order Gelt is also one of my favorite lords. But this faction makes me cry. Copy pasta of Reichland. They should have given him something different. They really need to rework this faction. This is one of the worst factions in the game with such an awesome lord. And I hate it. That's about it. The rest, Empire is fun. Grand Cathay, there's Mami Ink here. And I like hearing her speak in diplomacy. Find Grand Cathay, they do have the flavor, they deliver on the location. But me personally, I find it boring. I might have not tried hard enough with these factions, but boring.
A dragon in human form.
I wish Grand Cathay could grow like crazy strong difficulty-wise to actually be a threat to any player that it's on the other side of things. This is like another faction that could have like 30+ armies knocking down your door. And this is what I hope in the future to see. Occasional campaign where I unify Grand Cathay with a crazy military going west. But I feel like in this how things are going, we're never gonna see that. Greenskins. The Greenskins are crazy. Crazy grinder and economy. With a really nice flavor. But I like some of the lords. I don't like their faction. I always like Grimgor because he's Grimgor. Nothing special, he's just Grimgor. Gonna be a strong fighter lord. Wurzak on the other hand is probably one of the most unique ones here. But his faction is trash. It's like, he's a Savage Orc faction with no Savage Orc flavor. It's literally just a Savage Orc army with the rest of them just Greenskins. They failed to do anything. This was a first free scene series, and they failed to flesh out this faction. This faction could be one of the most unique factions in the game, but it's just crap. He suffers the same problem as Golden Order and Karkadran. Same with the Azag the Slaughterer. At least Azil Slaughter has a slightly different starting location, but I would say really poor factions. The one that's the most unique, that one actually has a mechanic, is the Grom the Punch, and I can also blast with him. This one is fun. This one is probably the most fleshed out of them. Grimgor I like, just because he's a Grimgor, and I can always have fun with Greenskins and the Black Orcs. Personally, it's always fun. Crooked Moon is probably can snowball the craziest with the Grom, but this faction, man, is such a huge miss on the flavor. It suffers even worse, I would say, than the Azak and the Savage Wars guys. There's literally no mechanics, just dirt cheap goblins, and the regular goblins are going to be better than night goblins. Leaving the pace match. There's nothing with this faction, Kugis. We just have a different start location. I guess that one could be living the past, but the faction stuff things, I don't really care, because there's no factions non-existent. I guess the location is a little bit different, because they moved Grimgor and there's other stuff there. Me personally, there's nothing to look forward playing this faction. Got a Savage Orc army with Wurzak and everything else the same. These are a bunch of these factions that just got a slight difference, but it's just more about the lord than the entire faction. You're right there. You're right there. The location is different. I like thing about the Azak that he can go little in the middle of things now. Little in the middle of things. This one is I guess is the one in the balance, but Skarsing is there as well.
As my mystic powers.
I mean, Skarsing and Wurzak, I think they're gonna go do the same thing. Wurzak goes into Karzakarak, Skarsing is going into Karzakarak. I really think these factions need something more to be attractive. Just Legion Lord is not enough. Not enough. I can always just pick something else. But I can always have some fun with the Greenskins, as long as it's not a Crooked Moon. I spent over 50 days of my life playing Crooked Moon, and that's enough. I retire. Probably spend more time playing Crooked Moon than most people who started to play this game. High Elves! High Elves are just fun. I love all the Elves. But High Elves, beautiful formations, beautiful units, powerful lords, powerful characters. Even has acceptable mechanics, even at the base. Ultan is OP. Teclis is OP.
This world needs me.
High Elves, man. If only every elf faction could feel like High Elves, right? Then only just like be stupid, huh? Of all the factions, probably find the Teclis the most enjoyable for me personally. But there's also different starts here. They're all fine, all fine. You can always have some fun playing any of them. Well, I always like stacked lords and stack them even further, make them go harder, crazier. Scarman is just stupid overpowered from rank 1, and he makes it a little bit boring to even continue progressing. They just made him like any idiot can just click on him and delete everything as long as he don't get shot too much. It's kind of like the even more OP version of Taurox, which I didn't like in the first place. Just go crazy from the base, don't even need to bother with the rest, and go mindless slaughter. Well, I like the grinders, I like strong fighter lords. This is just mindless slaughter. I find Khorne boring. Kislev. I got kind of mixed feelings about Kislev. I've been delaying playing Kislev for whatever reason. It's like I have this feeling where everything just got this level of samey worse empire to me. All the units are blue and white, and they shoot. And then you have those couple of weird units that feel a little bit off. I can have fun with Kislev. If I don't ever play Kislev again, I'll be fine with that too. This thing is... I'm developing allergy to this. Probably would need alcohol to play this. This is one of the biggest things of Shadows of Change.
Worship Boris Ursus.
I command ice, snow.
Oh boy, Lizardmen, look at that, 7 lords. 7 lords on the Lizardmen, guys. When the Lizardmen were released in Warhammer 2, they were just better Greenskins. And everybody and their mother was saying how that's how the Greenskins should have been. And now we have one of the most generic factions in the entire game, with some really cool units and really cool lords. Half of them are fun and half of them makes you drink. Makes you want to drink. I want the Grand Pepper to be terrifying. That's one of my main wishes here. One Grand Pepper to be terrifying, one couple of units reworked, and some real mechanics here. I can have fun with the Lizardmen, but after a couple of turns, I start wondering why the fuck we're playing them. I'm a really big fan of Oxotel, and haven't really made my mind about the Henwen, but Oxotel, I can have a lot of fun with Oxotel. A lot of fun with this guy. If you never played Oxotel, highly recommend. Unfortunately, I'm going back to the game really suffers currently from passive AI, low aggression, non-existent difficulty, which makes factions like this not very rewarding to play. That's the downside. If we never get to play any of these lords ever again, never again, I'll not have nothing. I won't mind it. But personally, after some time passes, I'm probably gonna be playing Oxotel again, unless somebody requests something sooner. I totally see myself playing Oxotel.
To the four corners.
Okay, I don't care about Norska. Let's go to Nurgle. Big fan of Nurgle. Love that grinder playstyle, but some of the plagues and the spreads feel underwhelming, and the variety in the early game is so forced for Nurglings that unless they lower the costs or add another mechanic to it, it's always going to be the same shit for initial progress. But fan of Qget, fan of Nurgle. Nurgle is one of my favorite. Just the way the campaign progresses, it's they haven't tested it, man. It's just broken. It's a stupid strong faction, non-existent variety. Depending on what kind of progress you want. Right now the AI is non-existent, the difficulty-wise, so you can do whatever you want. But if there was real difficulty, there's no variety. Oh god. This is a failed DLC, a failed faction, man. You guys seen the Ogre trailer? They have some really powerful units, really cool units, but they failed, fucking failed with the contracts mechanic. There should have been a core mechanic of the campaign with real rewards, real goals for the campaign, with twists, and they have failed. The worst thing is when you have to do those sieges, and they all get stuck in a door because they're all fat with invisible walls. Skaven. Big fan of Skaven. Just really not feel like playing them. I don't know why, but I guess we got into that point. We played quite a bit of Skaven Warhammer 2. It's just like I'm just leaving them like the Dark Elves, Bretonnia stuff for the quests. There's like a Skaven campaign being planned, but that's about it. If they put some contacts, some reworks, some new stuff for the Skaven or some reworks, we can totally see playing them. But I think I'm totally burned out on playing Skaven. I can have fun with all of this. We had some of them in back and forth campaigns for the initial part of the campaign, like Tzeentch or Clan Molder. Can totally have fun playing Skaven, but I just don't feel like picking Skaven over anything over like 10 other factions. It's a powerful faction with a strong flavor and a bunch of variety of units and different playstyles. Undermined by the current state of the game. Slaanesh. Big fan of N'kari. Crazy lord. Really fast. I find a lot of fun with him on the battlefield. They just did him a little bit dirty on Ult 1, starting for the player and for the AI. They even nerfed the Slaaneshi physical resistance and Marauders. They haven't even given him any edge for the edge on Ult 1 with his. So multiplayer has been harsh on N'kari and made a little bit worse for both the player and the AI. But it could be a tricky way to open, especially not very successful in battles with low casualties. But I can always have some fun with Slaanesh. N'kari is always fun. Tomb Kings, absolute top flavor for me, the Undead. Tomb Kings, best DLC of Warhammer 2. Just as long as we are not playing Cathay. I have, for some reason, been traumatized with this. It's like post-traumatic stressors, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, no. I can play all of them, but as long as it's not Cathay, I can have fun with Tomb Kings. Just an amazing flavor faction. Tzeentch. This is my second least favorite of the monogods. But the Kairos and Changing are both fun, Changing especially. And you can also have some fun with this. Vampire Coast. Like I said, a big fan of the Undead. These are Undead with some unique mechanics. And they interact with the campaign differently. This is a really fun lord. I enjoy Noctilus as long as he doesn't mention Maelstrom. And Luther Harkon is pretty crazy, literally. And I do tend to pick Noctilus or Celostra over him though, because he's literally just, they made him like a entry basic flavor for the Vampire Coast. What do you think about the rework schemes? You're talking about Clanation? No Tzeentch. I haven't played Kairos since this got changed, cookies. Aranesa.
Salt and plunder!
Just no. Just no. No, no. Last time I played Aranesa, I got so drunk, it took me 3 days to recover. As long as on the Aranesa, we can have a blast with Emperor Coast. One of my favorite, if not the most favorite faction in the game, the Vampire Counts. This is it, boys. They got one of the most powerful mechanics. An absolute grinder. With very powerful magic. All of the lords, excellent. A little bit questionable on the camera side of things, but he's a really cool character, so I forgive him. Crazy stuff. Starting with Isabella and getting items from Vlad is ridiculous. This is one of the factions that I can have the most fun with. And I can play vampire accounts pretty much all the time. Well, regarding the favorite factions, it was always between Dwarfs, Empire, and the Vampires. But I think in the Warhammer 3, it gotten closer. Vampires put the first spot. I have just a blast playing with Vampire Counts. The atmosphere of the faction, the team of the faction, just amazing. Until you get a determined Bloodline Lord. Warriors of Chaos. The most OP faction in the entire Warhammer 3. They suffer the same problem as the Beastmen. Lack of challenge, crazy snowball, and if you're min-maxing, even crazier snowball. Really insanely powerful faction. Literally just that little bit balancing. Just little bit balancing. It's a lot of fun to play, but the current game really really shows how ridiculous the balancing, some balancing required for both Beastmen and Warriors of Chaos. I really don't like how the Warriors of Chaos can recruit aspiring champions in the area. That's like one of the main things that bothers me. Also undermines the how things progress with the units. But I think the main issue with the Warriors of Chaos is just the lack of difficulty in the game right now. There's just no legend right now. The AI is too passive, and they don't even respond well to the Warriors of Chaos. Have you guys seen that Beastmen campaign when we AFK'd for 200 turns and then we started playing? We couldn't attack for 200 turns, and then we had the AI didn't do anything for 80 turns. I mean, if they put it 5%, I can see it, cookies, but 10% aspiring champions, come on. And after 80 turns, the AI woke up. Arcane was doing stuff. And for the rest of the campaign, pretty much, Arcane and Karzakarak were literally just dividing free real estate among them. No interaction. But the aspiring champions are insane, cookies. Just having one in the army is crazy. 2 in the army, they're ridiculous. So really overpowered faction. This was one of the first DLC they released, and the rework was really solid. Just crazy powerful. Crazy powerful. What makes the aspiring champions super powerful is the technologies. And that's what literally most of the technologies are about. And then on top of this, the Chaos Gifts. Warriors of Chaos are just one of the most overpowered faction, if not the most overpowered faction in the game. They just trivialize progression of the campaign. And they don't even have anything special going on. And the main issue is there's a lack of difficulty in the campaign. And the most factions should be more hostile towards them, and if they see Warriors of Chaos coming to your way, all ally up, all work together. There's like no unity. There is no any sense of threat coming. Nothing. They have no military, no resistance, and you just go crazy. If the eye opens and you get rampage, they're all dead. I do think that the most overpowered faction in Warhammer 3 with trivializing the progression. I mean, they get a Raise Dead mechanic. Raise Dead is just the strongest mechanic in entire Warhammer 3. Numerous factions have it, and it all started with the Vampire counts. What does this mean? They have literally instant recruitment, and sometimes trivializes any sense of threat, urgency, or difficulty when the units will appear out of nowhere. Rakard has it, Draika has it, Warriors of Chaos has it, and all start with the Vampire counts. Raise Dead is the most powerful mechanic in the game for the player and the AI. I think of all of them, the most fun is either Festus or Be'lakor, but it's a matter of opinion, right? Some people could like them more. Archaon is also a lot of fun. I find the Kolic and Sigvald too generic. Khorne is a little bit on the boring side of things for me personally. Azazel is just a little bit better Sigvald. Azazel is so sexy. Yeah. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Be'lakor is one of the strongest lords in the game. Be'lakor is one of the strongest lords in the game. There's no questioning that. Okay, where were we? The last of the Wood Elves.
Protector of the Oak.
This is one of those factions that has a unique campaign and that really is good for the replay value of the game. For me personally. Durtu might be the worst of them with Orion, but I find Durtu a lot of fun to play. Durtu is just a worse Draika with fewer mechanics and weaker units. Draika, I find Draika to be the most powerful of the bunch because the race dead, and she has literally the strongest version in the strong version used in the roster. They cannot really be killed. Literally, they cannot be killed. And she has easy access to Durtu, and through Durtu even Ariel. I think they fucked up the system with Twilight, and Orion is just a miss. Although from time to time I might feel like playing Orion just to use the Wood Elves, while the rest I use the Forest Spirits. So Forest Spirits, Wood Elves.
Lord of the
And this is in a strange spot, but on a different side of the campaign map. I don't think it matters that much because you can travel in Confederate. Draika is a blast and a really powerful faction with a powerful mechanic. This should be like the golden standard for these low effort factions. It's like what it took. It took the Ember mechanic rework. It took the aspects on the Forest Spirits for max flavor with a certain type of units, and Raise Dead. And when you look at it around Rakard is similar. Rakard is similar and is also one of the strongest factions in the game. And what they share a similar flavor in the Raise Dead. And they're completely different lords. You can play Drake, you can play Rakard, you have the same mechanic, but entirely different playstyles. I can totally see them releasing more factions in the future with the Raise Dead mechanic. I still pick Durtu over Draika just because I want to start with Durtu, but Draika is just a more powerful Durtu faction. And there you go, boys. We went over all these factions, how I feel about them. This is how I feel about them in March 2024. Will things change? Find out with the Thrones of Delay and the next set of factions, right? Let's go back to Altarian.